to help with the polls.
Oh yes,
22nd.
we need all kinds of people. I mean, we need people to help walk, even if it's only your street. We need people to help with the polls. We need to watch the polls for fraud. Like we have no fraud here. You know, I've got a little thermometer. I'm trying to decide if St. Louis or Chicago is the worst fraud. And we need people to hand information out at the polls.
Chicago's got more dead people, though. So they
Well,
get more
you know,
votes.
conservatives are only conservatives until they die. They might vote conservative their whole life, and then the minute they die, a lot of them turn Democrat. And that's a problem. Because then somehow they're voting. We can't allow that anymore. We've got to stop voter fraud, and we've got to get constitutional people elected.
So come talk to her, or
Yeah, talk to
someone with a
me,
Hamlin thing on, and
or talk to Jennifer there.
we'll get your name and we'll get you signed up to be a poll worker.
Yeah, we've got a lot of places, because this includes Creve Coeur, Ladue, Town and Country, Maryland Heights, Hazelwood, University City, Clayton. Basically from St. Charles County up north, follow 270 around to 370 on down
To 40.
to Highway 40. And then it also
Like a
goes
sewer
on
line.
to Mason, and Mason is a cutoff line. Tell me east or west.
East.
East
Thank
of
you.
Mason. East of Mason, and then
East of Mason is part of this, and it goes through all the way down through St. Louis, or to Soulard, Lafayette Square, down to the river.
Huge.
Yes.
The latest Freedom Index published by the New American had Lacey Clay batting the same average as Russ Carnahan for constitutional votes, 0.
He doesn't. He
Well, he's
was-
consistent. I think he got 10% once.
Well,
I mean,
he
I've been
was-
following it for about 5 years. I think he got one constitutional vote. It must have been an accident. But
Yeah, I'm telling you, somebody must have pushed the button for him, or he pushed the wrong button, because he would not vote for our Constitution. He tried telling the kids at this high school the other day that he was working so hard to shore up the Social Security Trust Fund. And then when it was my turn to talk, I got to say, Lacey, you know better. There is no trust fund. And I explained to the kids what a trust fund was. I've sold health insurance, and I was a financial advisor for years. A trust fund means money is put away, and it is only spent on what the trust fund was set up for. That means nobody can put their sticky fingers in there and take it out to go buy a car. You know, if you've got a trust fund for a child, you can't use it for anything but that child's welfare. Social Security Trust Fund is gone. All of the Social Security taxes, Medicare taxes, go into the General Revenue Fund. This year we spent out more than we put in under that line item. It's no longer a trust fund, it's a line item in our budget. And that has got to cease. Our money has got to go back into a trust fund. We have big problems with Social Security.
What happened to all the money that was borrowed?
Oh, they went past borrowing it, they just dissolved it. There is no trust fund any longer. That's
That's
gone
back in the
away.
90s.
Yeah.
But somewhere, isn't there money owed to it?
The government owes.
Yeah, obligations are there.
An obligation, but they took the trust fund and dissolved it and put it into the General Revenue Fund. And when they did that, they can talk all they want and say something's owed, but big deal. They don't care, it's the government.
It's like the bank situation.
Yeah, it's a
You
big
know,
problem.
This money's here, but you can loan it out,
Right,
and then it's not there.
yes ma'am.
Well, I'm curious. I was raised Democrat.
Mhm.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I voted for Obama. I passed out flyers for him.
Okay,
Okay, I looked at him. It was kind of one of those regular situations you find yourself in when you're voting. Do I want to shoot my left foot or do I want to shoot my right foot?
I know, it was horrible.
Because I'm
Always
looking at
wasn't-
McCain, who's dug in like a public slush fund baby that he is.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, Obama's breath of fresh air, isn't too dug in, doesn't owe too many favors, doesn't have as much experience, can't be that bad. How wrong I am,
Yeah,
right?
because he was groomed by Emil Jones.
But
But
they're
you've
all
been redeemed.
okay.
You've been
but-
redeemed.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
You're here.
Well, when I make a mistake, I believe in correcting it.
There you
go. So, needless to say, and I can admit it, whatever.
Yeah.
But so I joined the Constitution Party because I also I'm only 42, which I think I'm young-ish, old enough to know better, and still young enough to sort of care. But anyway, I voted both ways in different elections because I really tried to be educated about how a person presents themselves and what they say they're
Right.
for, which of course it's all a lie because that's all okay. That's how you do it. All image, no substance. how do you as a Republican go back and say, like, we believe as a Constitution Party, repeal NAFTA? I mean, that's just one thing to help bring jobs back here. Don't get into the North American Union to
Well, they've got
unionize
the
Mexico.
Security and Prosperity Partnership Act, and they've been
Right,
doing
but
so many things in
so
our country.
we need people that are going to go back to Washington essentially and untangle the spider web of a mess that's been created for decades.
Yeah.
Okay, and I understand, get out your knitting needles and your safety pins and whatever you can to pick all those strands apart, but how are you as a Republican going to go back and face your party essentially and say, you know, Ron Paul doesn't have any friends in the
Oh, trust
Republican
me, I've
Party?
already been there. They interrogated me a couple of years ago, and I do stand up, and I do not back down, and I do speak my mind, and they know that. I get no help from the Missouri Republican Party.
Well, I mean, I knew that because, and I heard you on the radio this morning.
Okay.
Which I'm glad. I'm disappointed that my candidate doesn't get any acknowledgement. You've got ignorant high school girls like Dana Lash who say things like, I'm not carrying water for the Republican Party, and 2 minutes later saying that it's irresponsible to consider a third party. I think she is irresponsible.
I don't listen to the
Well,
talk
just
radio
being
show.
But-
practical, you can get a Democrat. Why would you do that?
Well, I have to vote my conscience and my,
We
and I
vote
have
principle.
to, right. That's what I have to
And
do.
that's what we all need.
Because I'm not shooting my feet anymore.
Yeah,
I voted for Ross
we
Perot.
do. I mean,
He had the right idea.
we do
I
have
voted,
our
it didn't
conscience.
What happened after Ross
But we've got to
Perot
win,
is the
too.
two major parties got together and said, we will decide who the public will get to hear from for any presidential debates. They created the Presidential Debate Commission, and the past of the Republican Party and the past of the Democrat Party control that.
And you get, when you vote for the lesser of two evils, you're still getting evil, and I'm not voting for evil.
And Ross Perot brought out so many more voters.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he brought
It didn't
so
work,
many people out.
Right, it didn't work, but we have got to, and in the first congressional district, we know we have to do this from the bottom, and we are working grassroots from the bottom up, and we are working very hard at educating people and talking to people, and
And we have to combat that give up attitude, because if I waste my vote this way, then I'm not going to get that. That's the bad, foul attitude that prevails
Well,
and
in
continues
my
to make
area,
the system
basically,
be
we
bad.
have, Lacey Clay.
Huh.
And my goal is to replace Lacey Clay, remove Lacey Clay, do what I can to deny pensions to everybody up there, because I never voted on their pay increases. I am their employer. I didn't vote on their pension. I am their employer. And that has got to stop. I do not intend on being there forever. I joined a group called the Freshman 50. Yes. I joined a group called the Freshman 50. And the Freshman 50 started out with 86 members. And that was before the primary. Now, everybody that was in the Freshman 50 is new. None of us have ever been to Congress before. Ever been elected. We're regular people. After the primary, a few people have been weeded out. There are 46 of us left. And
Is Ed Markham a part of that group?
no, he is not.
Okay, good.
We are going to go there as a caucus, and we will be able to hold our ground. We are Americans, and it is time that Americans take our country back. Yes, ma'am.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, you said yourself, it takes a while, and it took a while for us to get into the state that we're in, no pun intended.
Right.
The United States being
It's
that.
not going to get fixed in a year or two. It's a tough pill,
Right.
and it's going to have to be swallowed, but the longer we put it off, the worse it becomes.
Well, what I'm saying is, more people recognize the names Democrat and Republican.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, a lot of them don't know that there's a Constitution Party out there.
Yeah, a
So
lot of them don't
what
know.
I am saying is, yeah, the Republican Party stinks just as bad as the Democrats. I'm saying kick them, infiltrate the Republican Party, and that's what the Tea Party can do. This isn't
Yeah.
going to happen all at one time. The
I
frog
think
in the
the
water
Tea Party
scenario.
is doing a very good cleansing job of
They endorsed that Martin.
I know.
Okay, but what most people don't know is there are 6 different Tea Party groups.
The St. Louis City Tea Party group endorsed that Martin.
And Jeffco.
Did
Well-
Jeff go also?
Well, they endorsed, they wouldn't.
But see, there are a lot of Tea Party groups. Now, are you equating the St. Louis Tea Party with the Tea Party Express that is Newt Gingrich?
Oh, I
Or
hope
the
not.
Tea Party Patriots?
St. Louis Tea Party is what
Or
it's
the
called.
Jefferson County?
Right,
And
but
it's
what I'm
been
telling you
endorsed
is,
by Ben Martin.
they are, the St. Louis Tea Party is not part of the Tea Party Express.
Okay.
What are the 6 names, do you recall?
Tea Party Patriots.
There's more than 6.
No, there's 6 filed in Missouri, but we have little groups that are all part of the St. Louis Tea Party. There is Jefferson County Patriots, the North County Patriots,
Franklin County.
K&N,
Patriots,
Franklin
they're all
County,
over it.
and they're all part of, they align themselves with the St. Louis Tea Party, because if something goes out, then you can get a lot of people there. It's important that people understand the different tea parties that are out there.
Well, there are a lot of factions, a lot of different parties, whatever you, at the forming of our nation.
Uh-huh.
It was one big mess. I mean, you could probably call
Yeah.
it that, but it condensed itself down into what was ideally
Right.
what America should be.
Mhm.
Look, we're here for a reason, because this nation is going into, it will be dissolved if we don't do something. What I'm saying is, I think you can't go from A to Z and have it be an easy journey.
No.
I'm saying is more people identify with Republicans. They know who they are. I would love to have the Constitution Party be in charge of everything, but it ain't realistic now. I know we're doing the siphon off votes from the party. I vote my
I don't
conscience
have
every
a
time.
Constitution Party person.
I know, but
And I did
we
consider it,
need-
and Donna will tell you,
But we
I
need
did
to win.
talk to her about running one time as a
But we
Constitution
need
Party.
to win.
But we've got to get Lacey Clay out, we've got
What
to
are we
get
winning?
Well,
Well, we're putting the same
honestly,
old
I don't
people
think that it
No,
matters the
we
party. It
called
matters
them
the
out.
moral
They
and the
know about the
principle.
Tea Party, okay? They know about the Tea Party. That's the way to do it. That's
Well,
the
if we get Ed
avenue.
Martin or Russ Carnahan, we're the people who are losing.
Robyn, for one, if the Republicans win this time, isn't it likely that John Boehner will be the new speaker?
Yep.
He has a very good chance, or
He
someone
has a
of
very good
his,
chance.
someone
Hi,
of
come on in.
his caliber.
Are you going to sign?
But he ain't gonna be that long.
Oh,
And
cool. I told everybody, all these people coming in, because I posted out that people could come here tonight and get signs, because I was going to be here for 2 hours. Okay. And I've got more signs out in my car. I'll go get you a sign in just a second if you don't mind.
Is it all right to see me?
Most definitely. This is an open meeting. It's a meeting by the Campaign for Liberty, which is a nonpartisan organization. And so they, yes, the original Tea Party from a few years ago,
Yeah,
before
that's
everybody decided they were a Tea Party.
Choose the Republican Party or the Constitution Party?
So he wanted to make it.
Back to John Boehner, yeah. I want to hear
let
that,
me just
sorry.
finish my
Yeah,
statement.
I don't know. I don't know that.
John Boehner is as bad as Nancy Pelosi in every possible way. He's voted with her on many, many issues. So when we think there's a difference, that somehow that our name is sort of angelic, that's exactly what I was saying, is
Right,
they
and
have
that's-
gone the other direction. They have done treachery undercover, telling us that they're the good party. And now we're so ingrained with this idea that the Democrat or Republican, anything else can't help. We need to have more parties now, so they can't control every party.
We do.
That's
We
up
do
there.
need more parties.
The more diverse we
But
are,
we're
in
not
terms
going
of
to
our
get
government.
more parties if all they focus on is state and federal levels. They've got to get involved in city councils, county councils, because
Oh,
you've got to
absolutely.
have a very good root system. Your tree will topple over. if
But
you-
the problem with the parties like our party is that we have to maintain ballot
Right,
access.
right.
So we have to run our people in the statewide races.
Right.
Although now what we want to do, if we can keep our momentum going and our exploding growth and everybody jumping on our bandwagon, if we can keep that statewide ballot access, then we can start concentrating on our local.
because that's how you're gonna
We
get
got two
more people.
candidates here
And no-
tonight.
But it doesn't matter. I wish that there would be no letter behind somebody's name when they ran, because people would have to look at them based on
Then
their
they
morals
have to
and their
study the
principles.
person. Right.
And
It's also the money.
And the money.
The money
The
comes
party
from the
money.
party.